On behalf of the Okotoks Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to welcome you all tonight. My name is Adam Stepa, and it's been a pleasure to serve as your president for the last year. It has been an interesting year to say the least. A year that has presented us with challenges we never would have seen coming. Despite the uncertainty around every corner, I'm constantly impressed with every one of you has done to keep your doors open and focus on your clients and your customers and keep them as your main focus. I know it has not been easy for anyone. It has been amazing to hear all the stories of resilience from our business community, and I have no doubt these stories will continue throughout the rest of this year and into next year. Even in a global pandemic, it is comforting to see some things never change in our small little town here. From Sobeys donating all the food to our local hospice, to Hubtown serving up locally brewed beer all summer on their extended patio, and all the local restaurants staying open and serving your favorite meals via takeout. As your president, I want to remind you that these stories reflect hope. And in times when it's hard, remember that that hope and our struggles will create resilience. And over time, that resilience makes us stronger. Together, as a community, our businesses will remain strong and will make it through if we remember those two things. I salute you all and hope that you have learned over all of this that your chamber is here for you. We have your backs, and together we will find opportunities and solutions to the problems that present themselves. Just know we are here. Have a great evening, and now, more than ever, I appreciate your choice in making the Okotoks Chamber part of your ongoing commitment to our business community. Cheers to you all.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2020 Okotoks and District Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Non-Gala Gala. I'm Donna Maist, and I'm the director with the Chamber representing the Okotoks Oilers Junior Hockey Club. I am honored once again to chair this year's Business Excellence Awards. Back 7 months ago, when we started discussing this year's event, it was evident early on that we would not be able to celebrate in our traditional fashion. Our committee quickly got creative and came up with a plan that would give us the ability to celebrate all of our amazing local businesses. Considering these unprecedented times, the committee did not feel that we could award single businesses or individuals for being excellent, and we felt that we needed to celebrate the simple things during these times. From businesses being able to keep their doors open, to businesses who had to make pivotal changes to keep things afloat, to businesses that thrived and had troubles keeping up, we consider everyone to be a winner. Thank you for humoring us with our non-gala gala and our virtual platform. The concept allows us to support our local businesses while having people participate from host locations, at their own private event, or from the comfort of their lazy boy at home. Whether you're all dressed up or in your PJs and your slippers, we toast you all and say congrats for surviving and continuing to make strides to persevere what lies ahead for us in the upcoming months. On behalf of the entire Business Excellence Committee, we salute you all.
Hi, my name's Jayme Hall, Executive Director of the Okotoks and District Chamber of Commerce. 2020 in Okotoks started more or less like any other year. Businesses and organizations were implementing strategic plans, thinking of fun new marketing initiatives, and looking at growing their business and expanding their clientele. For most of us, we started to hear whispers about this new virus from China at the time known as the novel coronavirus. Those whispers suddenly turned into yells and then shouts and then deafening screams. As the world, Alberta, Canada, and Okotoks tried to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic, businesses in our community came together to lift each other up, support each other, and help each other thrive. The Okotoks and District Chamber of Commerce has been collecting stories of resilience, and we are so excited to share some of those stories with you today. Let's think back to March of 2020, when so many unknowns faced businesses. News reports from Ontario came in that they had released a list of essential businesses and services, and that had Okotoks businesses wondering, am I essential?
We were, but that essential declaration didn't come out right away. We were waiting for what felt like a few weeks. Going back, it seems so long ago now. But what we were looking at and what we were following was Ontario, and I think a lot of businesses in Alberta were trying to see what was Ontario going to declare as essential services, and hopefully Alberta would, tag along with that, because I know Quebec had done that. They'd made a list of declaration, and it included pet food, pet care, and retail, pet care retail. And then Ontario came out with their list, and it was included in that. And I think about a week later, Alberta's list came out, and we were declared essential.
Well, we didn't get a very clear indication of where we fall under. So we were operating, then we did shut down for about a week, just until we got like the go-ahead, and then we were deemed essential after that. So the actual store, the storefront part was essential. The gym, we were operating right to the bitter end. We were following all the AHS guidelines, and then eventually we had to shut that one down as well.
We actually didn't even need to shut down because we were considered an essential, but my staff was uncomfortable. I was reading the public, people in Okotoks were uncomfortable. So I took the decision, I was going to run the shop on my own, but we were close to the public.
I wanted to talk with you today a little bit about just kind of that feeling you had in March when there was a government mandated shutdown and you found out that you weren't necessarily deemed an essential business. What was going through your head right at that time?
I think I figured out sort of right away that it was going to be a while for me, and I had a flash of a moment where I thought I have two options. I either make big change or I close. And close wasn't really an option because what else am I going to do? When you're a circus instructor, that's what you do. So I had a moment of that, oh my God. And then after that, I was like, okay, figure out how to make it work.
Oh, it was unbelievable, like, honestly. I had to close the salon once before, actually in 2015. A car drove through the building and we were told that we had to shut down. The business was closed for about 8 weeks in total, and at that time my primary focus was fighting to make sure that I didn't have to lay my staff off, and this time I knew it wasn't a possibility. I knew the only thing I could do was to lay them off. It was heartbreaking.
We didn't know which way it was going to go because we're a new business. People are panicking. So we were like, this can go one of two ways. It can go up or it could go down. And we actually expected it to go down, and it went up.
COVID caused businesses to shift, pivot, and change. Events and coffee meetings became virtual. Businesses and organizations in Okotoks set the bar for pivoting. Some of the changes were a long-time pipe dream for businesses, others an inconvenience at first, but businesses in Okotoks quickly adapted, and the new normal became normal.
So I've been in a few countries where there's been outbreaks of flus and worse viruses, like there's the Ebola in West Africa. That was the one where I learned more of the procedural side of how things were going to go for the government, like shutdowns, border closures, things like that, because they got even traveling through airports, that kind of stuff. And then before that was SARS, H1N1. And through Asia. But Ebola was the one that taught me, just showed me sort of how a government systematically just closes things down, right, to control. So it helped me just regulate things here. I knew right away it was a distance thing, sort of like a flu, so it's just offer sanitizer. This business is pretty good in the sense of if there is a pandemic, it's everybody's self-isolated anyways. You're in your own bay. We implemented a few things, obviously the protection for my staff, number one, and then protection for everybody else here and together, right?
Not unlike the shop itself, you have to be always forward thinking. What's happening in the world? What can set you apart from everybody else? And the math kits were a really fun one. I started out with doing our regular cookie kits that we normally do, but just tried to put a fun spin on it, do something that was kind of more updated and less seasonal, because it wasn't really a holiday season when we shut down. So I was literally at home one night and I just thought, what else can we do with these cookie kits that would be really fun, but also help the families at home that were really struggling at this point. We were a couple weeks in and parents didn't know what to do for schooling and so on. And I thought, what about a math kit that we could also turn into an art kit? So it was a combination of different lessons that they could give their kids, but also have a fun reward at the end for the children and have be a fun project, but still a learning project.
Yeah. It was maybe 4 days, 3 or 4 days before that we actually got shut down, that I started to say to Marc, we need to get on to the internet, we need to find crates, we need to switch to a delivery model, we have to get ready because it's coming. So we ordered them up, and the day they arrived, I went out to get some paint because I had heard the whole world is shutting down and we're going to paint our house too. But what they did was just shut down our tap room.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went from almost 100% in-house consumption to 100% out of the brewery consumption.
Selling through a website is completely different customer service than doing face-to-face in a brick and mortar. So the learning curve of that was huge, because in a brick and mortar, when somebody has a problem with a product in your store, they're standing in front of you. And you just discuss it and they show it to you and you resolve it to everybody's, hopefully they're happy with the resolution. But online, you're dealing with pictures back and forth and emails back and forth, and there's no tone and there's no it's a lot more challenging, especially selling consigned clothes. And the community was very understanding about that as well, and patient as I sorted through and figured that out to continue to give the best customer service that I could, because it's really important to all of us business owners, right?
You know, when we first reopened, we couldn't find masks. We were paying $75 for 50 medical grade procedural masks. And, you know, in the regulations it said we had to wear medical grade. We couldn't just go to Costco and buy masks. So sourcing those out and buying hand sanitizer in bulk, and we almost thought we weren't going to be able to get the supplies that we needed in order to reopen, which was pretty scary actually. But yeah, we ended up making it through.
I had to make a determination of, okay, well, if it's just me, being open my regular 60 hours a week, 7 days a week isn't going to be healthy, right? So I reduced my hours, dropped down to, we're still on them actually, so it was 8 hours, 6 days a week, and 5 hours on Sunday. And that made it much more manageable for me. And there was a few stats in there as well that you know I could take part of. But that allowed me to still have the business open, still be operating, keep my staff safe, keep myself safe. And from there, really at that point, we introduced right away, we brought in a hand sanitizing station, we had cleaning protocols. I didn't put up plastic, and I didn't demand masks. That was a decision that I'd made as a business owner, that I wasn't going to do that. We offered right away, we started to offer curbside pickup, and we also offered delivery.
Typically in a year, how many business loans would you be giving out? Like with COVID off the table, a normal year, what does that look like for you?
So we have this regular loans fund. Like I said, we help small businesses get started. So we would normally give out about 20 loans in a year or so. And that's out of our regular, we call it our investment fund. But then the federal government came through with this RRF funding, the Rural Relief and Recovery Fund. And Community Futures was given a stream of that money. There was federal government funding to help rural businesses. The point of that was businesses that were falling through the cracks of SEBA and other programs could come through Community Futures and come through the RRF funding to get a loan in a different way than they could through their traditional financial institution. The original funding we were each given was just shy of $1 million. And then what happened was some of the Community Futures in Alberta didn't use all their fundings. They might be in a smaller region, or mostly it was just because they were in smaller regions. And so the excess of that funding got divvied up amongst those of us who needed more and have bigger regions with more demand in them. So to date, we've given out 44 loans, totaling $1.5 million.
The Okotoks Chamber is no different. In working with our fellow community stakeholders in the Okotoks entrepreneurial ecosystem, our lunches, networking opportunities, and seminars pivoted to be 100% virtual. Joining us today, we have Pamela Morgan, Sara Noyes, and Connie Jacob. Now, Connie, I'm going to start with you. You're with Wellness Innovate. Do you want to just briefly explain the program and chat a little bit about the webinar series?
Yeah, so every Tuesday, Thursday, we get together online and we go through some curriculum that we have created at Wellness Innovate. But not only that, we are providing a safe space. Right now is not the time to be just hunkering down doing this alone. And we want to make sure that no person and no business is left behind.
We really appreciate your working with us and putting this on. What we've done is we've actually put together, we've got a group of senior consultants, so we've put together kind of a whole program. Took some of the best thinking out of McKinsey and MIT and some of the stuff coming out of the States in terms of strategies.
And with the partnership of the Okotoks Entrepreneurial Ecosystem, we've been doing, this is our 5th webinar that we've done on a different topic in relation to business recovery or information that's needed by businesses. We've done webinars on mortgages and accounting and keeping invested and all of those things right now. So we're really excited to have CGen Energy with us today to give a bit of a presentation on strategically planning for when things recover.
I know for me, on several occasions, I wanted to wake up in a world where I've never heard of COVID-19. At first, government regulations and restrictions were cumbersome for businesses. Some of those restrictions still are. The Okotoks business community is resilient. They were able to innovate, to come up with solutions, creative ideas, rework a business plan. Some of the new ideas and innovative solutions that they've come up with, they're going to be in place long after this pandemic is over.
This is not going away anytime soon. This is bigger than just a 2-week shutdown. We are going to be having parents who don't want to put their kids back in school. And so I had always wanted to have a full-time school, but it was a bit daunting. So COVID happened and I was like, this is my opportunity to make the dream actually happen. So this year what I have is I have these 8 students here, and they arrive at 8:30 every morning, and they are doing online schooling. So parents could choose the schooling program that worked for them. So some are with an official homeschool program and some are with the hub program of their school.
I keep everything. It actually enhanced the way we kind of do our online sales, as well as the way I kind of restructured the business. So yeah, we used to have like employees and contract trainers. Now we switched everything to facility rent, where the trainers actually make more per hour, but we actually just have less to manage. And then as far as the online stuff goes, we're actually doing a lot more online sales. So we were able to keep our store hours still shortened up a little bit. So yeah, it actually benefited us more in the long run with this pivot, yeah.
Our business has grown exponentially because of COVID, basically.
Well, we believe because of COVID.
People have had so much time at home, they've discovered how to cook, you know, so that, especially with us making a lot of the fresh produce that we make, it gives an opportunity just to try things and see, and I think a lot of people enjoy that, you know, don't enjoy the rest of it, but just to stay home with their families and get the family involved in cooking again and reconnect with the families, because we've all got busy lifestyles, doing work and no playing, and we lose that family thing, you know.
This is my dream. If COVID ended tomorrow, I would change nothing.
Opening a new business is always an exciting endeavor. Imagine opening on the heels of a government shutdown and a global pandemic. Marc and Desiree from Vintners Cellar in Okotoks opened their doors on Friday, March 13th, 2020.
Yeah, we did open on March 13th. We were lucky enough to have a big blizzard that weekend, so that kind of made things interesting. And then
the school shut down that Sunday,
next week. Yeah.
And then the world shut down basically on the Monday. Yeah.
We were able to stay open. We were lucky that way. The AGLC actually made some provisions where we could remotely start the kits, the wine kits,
over the phone,
and bottle it for curbside pickup. So that kind of helped us get started for sure. While people were in isolation, they could call and make the order. So that helped a lot at the beginning.
We didn't really know any different either, right? We were kind of just doing what we
So like for most businesses that
could do.
They totally had to change their business model from something that they were used to for years and years.
Right.
But for you guys, like this was never your new normal. It was always just your
normal. Yeah.
So what was the hardest part of that for you guys? Like, what was the biggest thing that you were like, okay, how are we going to figure out how to do this safely?
For us, I think being that a clean environment is imperative to make the wine. We didn't have to make a whole lot of changes. We've made separate bottling appointments and stuff and kept customers to 4 at a time. But everything gets sprayed and cleaned several times a day. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not that busy of a store where there's people coming in and out all day long. So, then some people, of course, would call for appointments and we would have them in on their own specifically, right?
In doing these interviews, talking to businesses, and reading the stories of resilience that we had submitted, a common theme came up, and that was the Okotoks business community has each other's backs.
It was immediately, we just all started talking with, how are you doing this, and what are you doing about that, and how are you doing as a person? How are you managing Yeah, there was lost sleep, but there was lost weight.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of loss.
Yeah.
Loss was big. But knowing that I wasn't alone and being able to have that network, like our network, particularly downtown, because those are the business owners that I know well, everyone really just came together through text, through Facebook groups, however we communicated with each other, and didn't solve each other's problems, but helped, listened, and through that, as we rolled into April and Easter coming, I knew I had parents out there that needed to get goodies for their kids for Easter, and so started reaching out to some of my vendors about how we could get baskets done up, pre-done onto the website so parents could just pre-buy their basket and then pick it up curbside from us here at the store.
I was heartened to hear that businesses in town, some of them have done and come out and are coming out of this much better than they had planned on.
Yeah.
I'm sad that there was some that have gone by the wayside. That's a terrible thing. Being a small business owner, I know how much that has to hurt to make that decision and to have to live through that. But for those of us that are still here, I'm just glad that the town and the people who live here and work here understand that the small businesses we have in this town are fantastic business.
The biggest thing with this community in Okotoks is they're super good at supporting local business. Like they'll come to Sector 6 before they go to any supplement store in the city as well. So yeah, we're just super appreciative, and then wherever we can help with the community or shopping local, we will continue to do so.
There was still that competitive fear of each other, and I think COVID forced us all to figure it out.
I think the Okotoks people are amazing. We're a small town. And the biggest thing is too is the general public, but also the other businesses. Binding together, sticking together, supporting each other. The Okotoks public, they love small little boutique shops. We all love to support that. I mean, big box stores have their place, absolutely. But I do feel that Okotoks still wants to be a small town and still want to support each other and our other businesses.
Thank you for the community and everybody who supported us and still supporting us.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for sticking with us, keeping positive, not getting into that negative mindset. And that's what Okotoks is great about, is staying away from that. So thank you very much for everything, and I'm looking forward to the next 20 years here.
I want to take a moment to thank all of our business owners across Okotoks and throughout the Foothills riding for all the work that you've done over the past few months through a very difficult and trying time. I know many of you have worked very hard to keep your businesses open and keep your employees working, which is so important to our riding. It is important to the families who work here, live here, and play here. That is one of the reasons we started the Foothills Business Recovery Task Force. We wanted you to have a one-stop shop where you could find all the information on the federal and provincial programs that were available to you and your business. But we also wanted you to have an area where you could come back and speak to us in person and talk to us about the programs. Were they working? Were they accessible? Were they efficient? How can we improve those programs? And that has been an important avenue for me and my colleagues here in Ottawa. We will continue to work beside you as you work hard with your community and stand by the people who work here and do everything you possibly can to keep your business open. Thank you for everything you have done. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it, and keep up the hard work.
Since this is Small Business Week, I'm delighted to have an opportunity like this to acknowledge all of the hard work and effort of our small business community. Our local business community is diverse, and our entire area benefits from that strength. Across our province, small businesses employ almost 500,000 people, and there is no doubt how important each and every one is to the strength and wellness of our communities. As a previous employer myself, I can only imagine how tough these past few months have been. So I want to express my sincerest gratitude for all that you do for our community and the entire province. Thank you, and happy Small Business Week.
Hi, I'm Colleen Tommy, and I'm the manager of Okotoks Economic Development.
And I'm Deanna Weeder, Economic Development Administrator.
In recognition of Small Business Week, the town of Okotoks is pleased to join the Okotoks and District Chamber of Commerce in celebrating the resilience of Okotoks businesses.
This week, we'll also be celebrating the launch of the town's new business intake form, which makes starting business in Okotoks easier. Watch for the video on the town's website and social media.
Later this fall, we'll be providing updates on other actions the town is taking to respond to the 2019 industry roundtables and the Red Carpet, Not Red Tape initiative of the Chamber of Commerce.
Based on feedback from the business community, the town undertook initiatives in support of business during COVID, including the Outdoor Patios Pilot Project, temporary waiver of development permit fees over the summer months, and support of mental health initiatives by our partners in the Okotoks entrepreneurial ecosystem, including the Chamber of Commerce.
This fall, the town will also be inviting public input into the first draft of a new land use bylaw, which is intended to further reduce red tape and make doing business in Okotoks easier.
Hi, I'm Okotoks Mayor Bill Robertson. In recognition of Small Business Week, Council and Administration are pleased to join the Okotoks and District Chamber of Commerce in celebrating the resilience of Okotoks businesses. We recognize that strong businesses build strong communities, and we look forward to continuing the discussion on how the town can continue to support your business. And remember everyone, shop locally.
Thank you to everyone for your ongoing support of local business in our community. It has been incredible reading the stories of resilience that have been submitted and talking to several business owners in our community about their struggles and successes this past year. Our work in collecting and sharing your stories of resilience is not done. Please keep sending them to us. So many incredible stories are waiting to be shared. Although we did not have awards this year, and regardless of what next year looks like, we will be returning to our original format in 2021, even if we have to continue to do it virtually. Thank you to everyone who made this night and production possible. Thank you for making Okotoks an incredible place to work, live, and do business. On Sunday.
They can worry about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not looking at the camera. I'm
You're
looking at
looking
you.
at me.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at you. Okay,
Right?
good. I get nervous when I look into a camera.
But I'm interrupt you there. I'm going starting to go bright red.
No, you're okay.
It's me hot flash.
Dope. Again, it's
It's one of those.
Yeah. No, you
I didn't touch your bum.
Yeah.
Oh, let me start again. I can't remember the word I was looking for.
All good.
I'm so sorry we're dressed like this. It's for the gala.
No, but that's what it is.
We gotta get the upper floor done. So.
Like I'm trying. I need more tape. Oh my god. It is Monday. I'm having a big day. Great.
We've got to, but I'll not say too much because they're listening. You never lie.
One-on-one, not just virtual, but in person. That was Jerry.
That was my fault.
Jerry just fell down. Oh.
It's all good. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.